As previously stated, I do not represent all natives, guys. Alright, I haven't seen Pocahontas in a fucking long time either. Either? Two? Fuck. I have a feeling this will be a nice reminder.
Disney thinks they can sneak some narration past me by singing it. These seagulls flying overhead were drawn here because they have a keen sense of when history's being made. Also, just to be clear, there were 3 ships, not just one. The Discovery, the Godspeed, and the Susan Constant. Here's a guy who often has to tell people my eyes are up here, fellas.
Disney's not historically accurate.
How is this new information?
Shocking.
Also, who knew? John Smith was a Dolce & Gabbana model. I love watching Disney history.
That's right. I'm not about to let you boys have all the fun.
Mel Gibson using his patented Australianish American accent for an English character. Here's the thing, storms just don't creep up on ships.
I didn't know that was Mel Gibson.
Nearing a storm would prepare. Yet here they are scrambling with the sails mid-storm. Even through these
was Mel Gibson?
These
Yeah,
guys
that makes
up on
sense.
the mast are not falling to their deaths.
John! Get down here! The cannons are breaking loose!
Being able to hear that well from that far away in a massive storm. Also, the smallest guy on the ship was able to stop this extremely heavy cannon from moving any further. Excessive swashbuckling. Also, John Smith must also have the same rope burn-resistant skin that kept Tarzan's hands and feet safe during his movie. Well, here's some unholy bullshit that I don't even need to check the history books about. John Smith, Aquaman. He can find lost sailors at night on stormy seas using his telepathy powers and fish Twitter. Also, since this voyage is happening in the winter, I'm going to guess this movie ends right here, with both of these guys dying of hypothermia. Ah, yes, the villainous Governor John Ratcliffe. I could spot him anywhere with his trademark purple outfit.
I remember this guy and his
just
little
like in all the
dog.
paintings.
A stirring oration, sir.
This guy.
I'll need those
This is
witless
bringing back
peasants to dig
memories,
up my
man.
gold.
Governor Ratcliffe wasn't going to the New World for gold. He was partnering with John Smith to remove Edward Wingfield from the... You know what? I'm just going to add 10 cents for the loose interpretation of history throughout this movie.
Leave the savages to me.
The native tribes were strong and were known for scalping people, and John Smith thinks he can tackle an entire tribe?
We'll kill ourselves an inch, or maybe 2 or 3.
Actually, CinemaSins,
It's weird. I get
we
kicked out
weren't
of all the
known for
parties I attend when I
scalping.
start any song this way. John Smith pokes a liquor barrel for
Fun
free-flowing
fact,
booze, but more than half the booze will be on deck by the time this is over. I mean, this is a colossal waste of wine.
That was something the Europeans did
Roughly
to
translated,
collect
these lyrics
bounties
say, "Another
for
glorious day without
killing
European
natives.
settlers." Back in 1607,
proof,
cornfields were populated by
they
nothing
were
but
asked
beautiful
to
women. The only
cut off their
recognizable human moment
scalps,
in the entire
and
film.
natives
This,
started to
everyone,
do
is
that
Pocahontas. She was a runway model who was highly adept at
as a form
20th
of
century makeup,
retaliation.
a leap that should put
And
her in
then
the
we
cliff
got
diving
stuck
record
with the
books. No wonder
reputation
she and
for it.
Smith hit it off. They both have weird jumping powers. Also, this giant leap off the cliff gives surface tension the finger. The raccoon and hummingbird are dead, right? This is working for me?
Nico?
Disney makes rodents of the night that eat our garbage cute and potentially encourages kids everywhere to want one as a
Raccoons
pet.
are cute.
Come on,
actually.
Flick.
It's
Pocahontas
like they
has
have
amazing dead bird finding
deck-style
skills.
hands.
That person's fist made a perfect bear paw print. This movie is
It's
anti-nipple
surprising
for
that they
men
haven't been
and anti-nose
domesticated
for the
yet.
women.
Now I've been having a very strange
Same with
dream.
squirrels. Why
I
don't more
think
people
it's
have
telling
pet
me something's
squirrels?
about to happen. Something exciting.
Or something as terrible as a bunch of white men coming, bringing war and disease. One of the two. Does everyone get to talk to the genius tree, or only Pocahontas? Is it possible she ate some berries that she wasn't supposed to eat?
Oh, a dream.
Interesting
hear
movie
all
theory,
about it.
cinema
Who invited
guy.
these f***ers? Disney overload. This
that
fog
really
is threatened by the
Forrest Gump's
street, even
kid,
though the
or
only
did
part
she
of it
just
that
say
can
it
move
was?
is its face.
Seems to me this spinning arrow is pointing you down your path.
Grandmother Willow is full of and also carpenter ants.
Your mother asked me the very same question.
What did you tell her?
To listen.
Then she died.
Listen with your
Low blow.
heart.
Well, that settles it, Dad. I talked to the willow down the river, and it sang to me to follow my heart.
Did CinemaSins
so I'm not
do
marrying
one
Coco
on
based
Brother
on
Bear?
deciduous
That
tree
was an
advice.
okay movie.
Fresh fruit and flowers on months-long sea voyage.
That was a bit
King
more
James
politically
sees the
correct
gold
than
of
this
these
one.
peasants on Earth. Success will
was
be
still okay.
mine at last.
This line reading killed 5 animators.
I just don't like any use of the word
They
savage.
have
People don't
coastlines and
realize that
forests in
savage
England,
is
Thomas.
literally
You
the
gotta get out of
worst
London more.
thing you can
We didn't
call a
come all this
native
way just to
person.
look at
It's-
it.
We came all this way to f*** it up. Funny that Disney decided not to
kind of
talk
our
about how
N-word.
John Smith was charged with mutiny on this trip. But hey, they need this guy to kill savages, so I guess he was given a pass.
I would say the N-word is worse, though.
Getting
just
a better look.
for historical reasons.
Disappearing gun.
You know,
and that's the
it's like
story of how
honky
Pocahontas
is the
thought
worst
John
thing
Smith had a
I'm
hot
sure
butt.
you can
I
call a
forgive
white
John
person.
Smith for not wondering
But
why
I would
this
also say
nocturnal
that term
animal
is less
running around in
racist
the
than
daytime because they aren't native to England.
other
I'm
terms.
definitely wondering it.
You got a friend
Know what I
back
mean?
there?
Is John used to this type of friendly animal f***ery back home?
Still,
Smoke
savage is
movies.
pretty
That's
bad,
the wrong flag.
guys. It's
The
pretty
red X
bad.
representing Ireland wouldn't be added until 1801. And there's no reason to make that mistake, since they already used the right one for 1607 at the beginning of the movie. This f***ing raccoon just found a tree that somehow
Shit, I
hangs
just
over
gave
this
some
shit just so
racist
he can get
people
into some hijinks.
some
And it makes me
ammo out
angry.
there.
Never trust a guy
Oh,
who
that's
can
what
store
you
8
call
shovels in his
fucking
cape.
natives.
They've been here for 2 minutes, and this irrigation
I'm just
system is
calling them
already
Indians. We don't
And
care
I
about
don't plan-
Indians. We call
Vine
each
out
other
of nowhere,
Indians.
attached to nothing. This multi-tiered mountain of digging sailors looks inefficient for generally most purposes. John can hold water in his hands long enough to properly examine an impossible reflection. Pocahontas is conveniently hot, so John doesn't shoot her. It's damn impressive that his matchlock musket was able to stay lit after hopping through that waterfall.
You don't understand a word I'm saying, do you?
true.
No, people who speak different languages tend not to understand one another.
That was
This is
just
what
some
happens when
dude.
attractive people touch for the first time.
Listen with your heart.
Then Pocahontas wouldn't have helped them, and
Language barriers solved with willow tree music magic. Pocahontas and
America
John
wouldn't have
Smith now
happened.
create a swirling barrier of some sort that keeps all homely people out.
My name is Pocahontas.
Did she just speak English even though she's never heard English before now? Or am I just understanding her language suddenly? Or did Disney just phone this movie in? Ratcliffe shoots one of these warriors in what appears to be his knee, but he comes down grabbing his hamstring,
America
shot in the back of the
happened.
leg with a magic curving bullet. And then this guy decides, I've
happened
got this
because
gun, how
Pocahontas
about I
was
try
hot.
beating him with it? John's savage acceptance level has gone through the roof after a quick meeting with Pocahontas. It is not widely known that hummingbirds are the cockblockers of the animal kingdom.
A compass?
It tells you how to find your way when you get lost. But it's all right. I'll get another one in London.
Jeez, this song started off with Pocahontas saying, "You're an awful person," but by the end of it, they're almost kissing. This is sending me mixed messages that will destroy my college years.
Please, don't leave.
I'm sorry.
Huh.
Well, she was
Usually
like
my
12.
blonde-hair, blue-eye trick works in these situations.
We shot ourselves an Indian, or maybe 2 or 3.
John bristles from that song now, because he knows Indians have the capability of being attractive. Doggy Bone Carousel.
What am I overlooking?
Well, Virginia's not on that map, for one.
It's the gold. They have it, and they don't want us to take it from them.
Why would the governor think that the savages have any interest in gold? So there. The guy who's in love with John Smith and the guy who's in love with Pocahontas just happen to stumble on them making out at the same time. Ratcliffe throws a whole bunch of guns to his men, and they all miraculously catch one. Man-made smoke
They
that looks
skip
like
the
clouds
meme,
clash
where the
into each
meme
other and
comes
create
from.
lightning. Good of the tribe to leave
native
an easy
guy
path to
fucking
Pocahontas so
running.
she can block this execution. The story of Pocahontas saving Smith from execution came from John Smith himself. John Smith also had a story about being bought as a slave, and his master sent him as a present to his favorite Greek mistress. Smith said that the mistress fell in love with him, so let's just say we've got an unreliable narrator at best. Looks like John Smith's boner is caught between a rock and a hard place.
I love him, Father.
We sang and danced for a couple days. That's the longest relationship I've ever been in. Invisible bullet.
Have you
and
met
that's how
with
the
this
local native
woman?
tribes were forced to give all
Avatar.
their food to the inept settlement. The end.
What pain? I've had worse pain than this.
I heard that even in a cartoon, Mel Gibson needed to suffer in the movie some way, or else he wouldn't have done this.
I thought you didn't like strangers.
I was going to send this moment for John saying Flit still thinks of him as a stranger after all this time, but then I remembered a grown man is talking to a hummingbird. And for some reason, the dog is no longer an asshole. What the f***ing is this f***ery? Is she sending him magic from the forest?
He's just a
I'll
dog.
always
Leave
love
the
you.
dog alone.
Now here's some leaves. And nothing bad happened between Native Americans and colonists ever again.
Yeah, you can't.
Son of a bitch, you left the bodies and you only moved the headstones! I did a Peter Pan right here off of this dam, right here!
What were you doing up there?
Well, I'm just sitting up here thinking, you know.
Gold. Mountains of it.
I love gold!
Marriage is just, it's a piece of paper.
Where I'm from, it's the way one says I love you.
I've got gadgets and gizmos aplenty.
Robert Frost said, 2 roads diverged in the wood, and I took the one less traveled by. And that has made all the difference.
If you listen, they will guide you.
If you build it, he will come.
You think you own whatever land you land on.
Nigger, you can't claim us, we live here. 500 million of us. Do you have a flag?
Is that what you call a proposal?
I love you. Always have. Want to
Marie.
Sir, close that at once. Do you mind?
Suppose I asked you to marry me, what would you say? Why do you shrink from me? Won't you say yes? This isn't what I expected.
Yeah, that was pretty alright. That was entertaining. I like Honest trailers better, but that was pretty entertaining. I should watch more CinemaSins, actually. Not just the ones about native movies. Can't really give Disney shit for not being historically accurate, though. I mean, I guess, yeah, because look at the stories their other shit is based off of. Look at how the actual mermaid story goes, and look at how the actual Hunchback of Notre Dame story goes. Difference is Pocahontas was a real thing. Well, the Hunchback thing was real, too. That was a fucked up incident. And the true Pocahontas story, that was pretty fucked up, too. Watch New World. That's a good movie. Right up until John Smith goes back to his camp after learning the native ways. Movie... I lost interest in the movie after that. But that's like still a decent couple hours in. That's a long movie. Yeah, good shit.